Memorial, and they tear down these things, and we say, "Oh my God, what a horrible thing is happening to us in this country! How could this happen to us? How could this happen to us?"
They come in and beat our pants off. They got a right to do it.
Well, we're gonna get to the point where they're gonna be able to if
I
we
don't
don't
think-
stop this course.
I don't think that this country is going to be a world power 100 years from now.
All empires
I think
fall.
it's good. Of course they do. I mean, we lasted 250 years. The Roman Empire lasted 500.
You didn't want to be in Rome when the Mongolian hordes came into the city.
No, it's going to happen here. I mean, history will repeat itself. That's what I talked about mankind.
And we're asking
We're
for
not
it.
that smart.
But we're asking
Of course
for
we
it.
are. Of
And
course
that's
we are.
wrong.
Of course
Because
it's
the
wrong.
average American person doesn't want that. And they're not asking for it.
Well, you know, I
They're
had said
being
something-
driven by a few elites who decided what our future should be, and who now have you as a serf in chains and will make you pay for their vision of the future.
Well,
And their vision of the future doesn't even include you.
No, I know that, and nor will it, because I'm not going to be here that long. You know, how old are you?
Yeah, but your kids are going to be
How
here.
old-
Your
no, my
progeny
kids-
will be here.
I don't have any kids. But my point is that we're at a point now in this country that I truly believe voices like yours are going to be listened to more. I think that there are people out there of intellect that are now starting to wake up. But I think what has happened is that I didn't like the fact initially that when I turned my TV on, I could turn to 385 stations, because that bothered me, because I figured, how can you get a message across?
There's a million stations.
How can you get a message across when it's so spread out that people just keep going like this with the clicker? Well, now you got, this is worldwide, you know, and I think this is a very big benefit, and I think it's good competition for television. I think it's good competition for networks. I don't like networks.
Do you remember
because they have
Movie
their own
Network in
agenda.
the 70s?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Do you
yeah.
remember what he said
Oh,
then?
yeah. Just that, you know, I'm mad as hell and I won't take it anymore. That's going to happen.
But he said, what happens when you have the most
That's right.
god-awful media that was ever created, you know, with these giant corporations in control of it, pumping in propaganda into your
Absolutely.
mind day after day after day. Why do most people think Lincoln was great? Why do most people think that
Because that's what
Iraq was
that's
bad?
what we were taught.
Why? That's what they
we
tell
taught,
you.
you know.
Why do they think anarchy's bad?
Well,
Because
why do you
somebody
think-
came
why
on
do you-
TV and said anarchy's
Why do you
bad.
think people follow religion? Because they were told to.
They were told
You
to.
think, I mean, you're sitting there, you're 5 years old, you think all of a sudden you turn around and say, Jesus, Mary, Mohammed, you don't do those
We all
things.
search
Somebody
for-
has
we
to
all
teach
search.
you.
We all search for something.
You know.
But the point is, indoctrination is what you get. And, you know, as you become an adult, you rise above your indoctrination and you use your mind to go out and inform yourself and make your own decisions.
Well, I think that's.
Now, if somebody comes to the decision that they should eat people, and that's a good thing for them.
There are people who
well,
do
then
it.
There are people who will stop them, and that's the guy you try to eat. You know what I'm saying? I don't need the police to try to stop some guy to come from eating me. I'll stop him.
I also believe that
But,
you have
you know-
I think you should have a right to bear arms. I think that's.
Of course.
You know, but I think it's got to be within reason, and I think it has to be something that's got to be regulated in a way.
If it's regulated, it's not a right.
Well,
the
let's
point
put
is,
it
you have
this
a
way.
right to bear arms. You don't have a right to use it against somebody.
Well, but that's going to happen. If you got a right to have it, you're going to use it.
If
Because
you
that's the
use it,
mentality of the dumb,
then you're going
the dumb
to jail.
mind. But see, but there's no fear of going to jail if you don't have a police department that can police
Oh,
that
a peace
situation.
officer would take
A
you to
peace
jail.
You know where the peace officers existed? In the Wild West.
And here,
We
you
had
know.
peace officers.
Yes, we
okay?
did.
We had peace officers
And
in
we
the
had
early days
people
of
that would
Florida.
take their families, load them in wagons, and go across the wilderness. And they survived without health care insurance,
Yeah,
without
yeah.
sewer,
But they also
without...
died. But they also died earlier.
Sure.
They also died of diseases that, by today's standards, because of what we have,
And what
they
did
wouldn't
Franklin
have,
try to
you know.
teach us? If you're willing to trade your freedom for safety, then you will neither be free
No,
nor
listen.
safe.
Well, we certainly have had a wonderful discussion here for the last 45 minutes, which is nice. I'm
Really?
glad-
Did it go by that?
Yes, it did. It went by fast. We've got until 3 o'clock to talk. So I think we should take a short break, John. I don't know what you got, but, you
I
know,
didn't even plan on coming here.
that's okay. No, I enjoyed this.
Well, when he told
You
me
know
you
what?
were going to be on, I said, oh, I got to crash Dennis's party.
No. Let me tell you, you're always welcome. You're always welcome. You and I will always have a lot of things in agreement, and we'll also have a lot of things we don't agree with.
I don't expect anybody in the world to agree with me because I am an individual.
Absolutely, and I always believe that my rights are my rights also.
I'm one of 6 billion
You know, I guess
sovereigns.
maybe I'm a libertarian liberal in some ways, and also in some
On the
ways.
liberal side of things.
You know
If
what
you
bothers
sit
me?
here and ask me, should people be able to smoke pot? Sure.
Sure they can.
Should gays be able to get married? Sure. I don't think they should have to go get a license. Like, I don't think anybody should.
Oh, no, the license is only because that was a way to make money. That's somebody's
It's
making
the
money.
state control
That's
over
it.
you. It's why does the state have to come in and say this is a marriage and this
Well,
isn't?
that's why I said that one time.
That's only been since the 40s.
Who is God? Did God create man or did man create God? I have an outlook. My outlook is very simple. Man created the deity. The reason he created the deity is because of two things. One, control. Two, money. Money was always important, even going back to, and it wasn't money back then, 5,000 years ago, when the first single deity was,
Cows or money.
It's cows or money, that's it, whatever it was. Control. Control the masses, have them do what you wish them to do. So naturally you go on one end and you gave them laws. I got 10 laws, even though I, like George Carlin, broke it down to 2. When he let the whole thing go. My point is
Don't kill,
that,
don't steal.
Don't kill and don't steal, you got everything covered. I believe, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and you can wipe all the other 9 away also.
Unless you're a masochist.
And that's something else. That's something else. But my point is going out is that I truly believe at this point in time, we are fighting a very, very strong uphill battle. But I think more people are starting to think like you. More people are starting to think for themselves.
When the night
finally.
gets darkest, is when it's closest to dawn.
Yeah, and
Okay,
there's
now
gonna
we
be
will get through this. It's going to be painful and it's going to last many years. This isn't going to be an easy fix.
It never has been.
We've got 10, 15 years of darkness.
When Franklin Roosevelt came to office in 1933.
Oh my God, that guy.
Okay? When he came, let me give you a little point of maybe you know about it. But when a man came to office, probably next to Obama's situation, I consider them very similar. In fact, when you look at some of the things that when he came into office, he had to do things in a rush also. He had to put a lot of things into place. He's the only president that actually swore in his whole cabinet within 3 days of his office, because he had to.
Do you know we had a depression in 1921?
There was a slight depression. They never called it a depression. They called it a recession. That was because after the wartime,
You know
people
how
were
long
coming
it
back.
lasted?
Till 1940.
1 year. No, 1 year. 1 year. You know why? Because the government did nothing.
Well, that's
We
another
fix ourselves, okay?
Not always.
Now,
not
not
always.
always.
Not always.
There's no way to look at what they call the Great Depression and say Franklin Roosevelt fixed it.
Oh,
Now,
I
wait a
said-
minute.
no.
Hoover started doing things. They say he was doing nothing. The Hoover Dam is doing nothing. The Hoover Dike we have to deal with on Okeechobee is doing nothing.
Hoover Dam, he didn't build Hoover Dam.
Whatever.
Hoover Dam, no, that was done during Franklin. That came up, no.
But Hoover was doing the same things that he's doing. He was trying to do controls. Franklin Roosevelt came in and did controls. And everybody says, oh, he saved America. This guy
No,
saved
I don't
America.
believe he saved America.
1929
I believe
we
he
had
came in,
the
it was the
crash.
right time, right place.
1929, we had the crash, okay? In 1939, 10 years later, we had a 20% unemployment rate. We were still mired in a depression.
Sure we were.
Everything he did extended the depression. It didn't solve it. There's no way to know what would have happened had we done nothing.
I think that people have a tendency of not wanting to do nothing. When you think about it, people are afraid to do nothing. Sometimes when something happens, always somebody thinks you need to do something. That's human nature. That's like when you go home and you got water all over your floor. Well, if I do nothing, will it evaporate?
Yes.
Or if I do something, I could save it from spreading.
Yeah, but here's the something that I don't like, okay? I'm gonna go to my neighbor and steal his wet vac, and I'm gonna clean up my water.
Borrow it. Don't steal it,
But
borrow
see, that's
it.
not what the government does. They steal from your neighbor to clean up your mess.
But you know what? That is true.
And they take
and you know what
70% in the transaction, by the way.
Think about it. What would our society be today? What would our society be today? I know we're in bad straits, but maybe could it be been in worse straits before this whole thing happened if we did, like you say, nothing?
We couldn't be, because we would not be trillions and trillions of dollars in debt.
Would we have a country?
Would we
have a country?
What, do we need one?
Well,
I mean,
I
even
don't
the
know.
idea of country is an abstract.
I think we need a house.
Yeah.
You need a home.
You need a
and the
home.
country is a home. It's a home for the people that live within the lands of the borders that it's in.
Fine, I'm
So,
an
do you need
American,
a
I
country?
love America,
Yeah, I need a country.
I believe it's a great country and all that.
But you need one.
But I don't need a government.
Well, you need. I still think that
I have a society.
You really think that we as human beings don't need a watchdog?
No.
No.
I think we need.
I think we do.
We need.
I think we need somebody
we
who's a
need
big brother, the same way as we needed our father and mother to guide
The
us.
problem is.
Let me finish.
You
and
let
then
the
let you go.
spoiled kids be the big brothers.
Well, that's something else. But don't tell me that we don't need our father and mother to lead us down the right track.
And that's what we
And
need.
when we're out of